All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle a topic that is so important and honestly often completely missed. We're talking about the neurological battle of Sjögren syndrome. And I'm telling you, really getting a handle on what we cover today, it could fundamentally change and even protect your quality of life. You know, this quote just gets right to the heart of it. Let's be really clear about that from the get-go. For so many people living with this, the real fight isn't just about the dryness. Nope. It's a full-on systemic battle. And today, we're going to focus on what might be its most critical front, the nervous system. So let's talk about the hidden side of Sjögren's. Yeah, dryness is kind of the hallmark symptom, the one everyone knows about. But for a lot of people, the most difficult, the most disruptive fight, it's all happening inside the nerves. And the key word here really is overlooked. I mean, think about it. These neurological symptoms, they can quietly creep in and impact your memory, your coordination, even just basic daily functions. And the tricky part? They're often super subtle at first. You might just brush them off as, stress or just getting older. And that's exactly why it's so critical to understand what's really going on. Okay, but before we can really dig into the symptoms, we kind of need a map of the battlefield, right? We have to understand the terrain. So let's do a quick nervous system 101. It'll make it so much clearer how Sjögren's can actually attack it and why the symptoms show up in the specific ways they do. So it all starts with the central nervous system, or the CNS for short. Think of this as your body's master control center. That's the brain and the main superhighway that connects it to everything else. That's your spinal cord. I mean, it coordinates literally every single thing you do. Okay, so you've got the main superhighway. Now, branching off of that is the peripheral nervous system, the PNS. Just imagine a huge, sprawling network of messenger cables running out from the brain and spine to every single corner of your body. They're delivering commands and sending back all sorts of information. But here's a really important point. Not all of these nerve cables are the same. You've got large fiber nerves, which control stuff like movement and pressure. And then you have small fiber nerves, and these guys handle signals for pain, temperature, and all those automatic functions you don't think about. And this distinction is absolutely critical, because damage to one type creates totally different symptoms than damage to the other. Okay, so now we have the map, we understand the basics. Now let's connect all of this to what it actually feels like in real life. It's time to start decoding those warning signs, learning to listen to what your body and your nerves might be trying to tell you. And let's just start with this number, because it's a big one. Up to 45%. Let that sink in. That's nearly half of all Sjögren's patients who experience some form of neurological issue. So we're not talking about some rare complication here. This is a significant, common part of the disease, and it absolutely demands our attention. And what's interesting is that these symptoms tend to fall into pretty distinct patterns. So if your sensory nerves are affected, you might feel things like tingling, numbness, or a burning pain. If it's your motor nerves, that could show up as muscle weakness, cramps, or twitching. And if it's the autonomic nerves, the ones that run on autopilot, you might get dizziness, a rapid heartbeat, or digestive issues. See, the pattern really tells the story of which nerves are involved. Now, one of the most classic signs you'll hear about, especially when it comes to those sensory nerves, is something called the glove and stocking pattern. It's exactly what it sounds like. Symptoms, like that tingling or numbness, start way out in the very tips of your fingers and toes, and then they slowly spread upwards. It's like you're pulling on a pair of invisible gloves and stockings, and that is a huge clue for doctors, and for you. So you might be thinking, okay, if these patterns exist, why is it so darn hard to get a diagnosis? And that is a fantastic question. This next part is all about tackling that frustration head-on. We're going to talk about why finding clear answers can feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle with half the pieces missing. While a huge piece of that puzzle is this, the symptoms just aren't unique to Sjögren's. They're copycats. That tingling, the numbness, the weakness, all of that can also be caused by things like diabetes, a vitamin B12 deficiency, thyroid problems, even other autoimmune diseases like lupus or MS. And this massive overlap is exactly why misdiagnosis is so common and why patients can end up spending years just searching for the right answer. And this is where that delay becomes so damaging in real life. I mean, just look at this case. A 68-year-old woman, her first symptom, some tingling in her fingers and toes, was just dismissed as, oh, you're just getting older. It took a full year of her symptoms getting worse, going from tingling to burning pain to actually stumbling, before she finally saw a neurologist and got the right diagnosis. Think about that. That's an entire year where treatment could have been slowing down the nerve damage. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, and it's a big one. But now, let's get to the most important part, the solution. Because, look, knowing what's wrong is one thing, but knowing what to do about it, that's everything. This is how you can start to take control. You can build a much stronger case for yourself with a really clear, proactive approach. Let's walk through it. Step 1, document everything. Step 2, keep a super detailed symptom diary. What are you feeling? When? How bad is it? Step 3, go to your doctor with that diary and ask direct questions. Don't be shy. Ask, could this be Sjögren's neuropathy? And step 4, request specific tests like nerve conduction studies. I'm telling you, this clear, prepared approach can make all the difference. And once you have a diagnosis, it's important to know that treatment isn't just one magic pill. It's a multifaceted combination approach. On one hand, you have medications like corticosteroids and immunosuppressants that go after the root cause, the autoimmune attack itself. But on the other hand, you have supportive therapies that are just as crucial. Things like physiotherapy and simple symptom management strategies, like pacing your activities or using compression socks. All of this works together to manage your day-to-day life and protect your nervous system. And here's something I really want you to take away from this. Never, ever forget that your experience matters way beyond just your own health. When you document your symptoms, when you share your story, you're not just helping yourself, you are contributing to a massive body of knowledge. Researchers rely on this real-world data to spot patterns, to develop better tests, and ultimately to improve care for every single person who gets diagnosed in the future. So this all leaves us with one critical question, really. Are you equipped to be your own health advocate? Because knowledge, what we've talked about today, that's the first step. But it's action that truly protects your health. By understanding your nervous system, tracking your symptoms, and being brave enough to ask the right questions, you gain the power to become your own best advocate. And that is where the path to a better quality of life truly begins.